It's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. Welcome to another episode of Just Ask Bob Live. I am your host, Bob Assadourian. This program, as always, has two specific goals in mind. Number one, to get you up, off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. Now, use your imagination. Anything from regrouting that single tile, replace the toilet, hopefully with a slow close seat, replace a faucet, put up some pictures, right to the big guns. Kitchens, basements, bathrooms, man caves, decks, doesn't matter what it is. Bob's going to motivate you week after week and educate you right here on this program. Now, if for whatever reason you cannot get up, get off the couch, you refuse to, maybe the ladder's not long enough, maybe you can't reach that rooftop, that's fine. We're also going to work week after week, episode after episode, to demystify the process of hiring what Bob likes to refer to as the right contractor for you and your home. So that doesn't mean any old contractor, the right contractor. Certainly not the crooked and overcharging contractor. Let's take a moment to talk about the foundation of contracting, or contractors that want to be legitimate. It's the license. In a moment, you'll see Bob's license on screen. So again, it's important to understand that unlike maybe other reality television shows, today's host is actually licensed. And believe me, that matters. Every municipality in Ontario varies. Some license their contractors, some do not. And they're doing a great disservice to the residents and the homeowners in that community that want a legitimate contractor. Give you a quick couple of tips of what my municipality does, which is Hamilton. Number one, before you could even apply to take the examination, and it is an examination, and it's right behind me, the Ontario Minimum Building Code. That's what the exam's on, open book test. So before you can even apply, you have to have a valid police clearance. Come on, that should speak volumes for itself. Depending who you hire, what the job entails, that contractor and his crew, they may very well be in your home from well before you leave for work, and at times they may even still be working in your home after you've come back from work. You have valuables, you have family, the police clearance is a given, and it's all part of the examination licensing process. Number two, they're going to write a 2-hour examination to prove if they're worth it. Do they have an idea, even a small idea, of what building code entails and how to work safely inside your home? Then the city is going to validate that they carry minimum $2 million liability insurance. Lastly, they're in a database. So if you have an issue with them, you have somewhere to report to. You have a municipality, you have a building department, trade department that you can complain to. So it is very, very important. Now, I'm sure you've all heard about what Bob refers to as the grumpy contractor, the fellow that likes to bark a lot. He's in your home, and yet he's not being respectful. You ask him a question while he's working in your kitchen, basement, or bathroom, he practically barks the answer. Ask him a second question, he barks even louder. That speaks volumes. Please trust me when I tell you this. It's your home. You're in control. Pretty less up until you sign the contract. So during the estimating process, I like to tell you, please test the contractor's patience. Push them, test them. That's the time to get to know them, to make sure that, again, they're the right one for you and your home. Now, Just Ask Bob Live is broken up into two parts always. Part one, real rental. And the rental's always prompted from you, the viewer. You send us the emails. We try to line them up with some of our job sites. We put together the rental footage. We air it in response to an answer. So instead of my verbally giving you the answer, you get the answer right through the footage. Part two of the program, get your home rental questions ready right here on the show. Ask Bob at cable14.com to email, tweet at Just Ask Bob, or let's have some fun. Bob's old school. Pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232, and Bob's holding a contest, and that contest directly relates to that very phone number. Win a $50 Home Depot gift card, call in and you can win. Full contest details at cable14/Bob contest. So what you want to do is hit Bob with your hardest rental question. I can take it, and it gives you a chance again to win one of those 4 $50 Home Depot gift cards. Now, we have a viewer's email, which is going to be prompting the real rental footage you're about to be watching. Hey, Bob, what are some options I have when it comes to insulating my rim joists for heat loss? This is from Trevor from Hamilton. Trevor, great question, right time of year. It just lined up with some footage we had from just after the summer. Insulating is very important. You know, there's money you can throw in your home that may or not give you a return. Example, a swimming pool. You may love it, your friends and buddies may love it, but it limits you in the marketplace. Throwing the bank at the home as far as it comes to insulating it, that will reap rewards. As long as you keep receipts, keep information, keep photographs, because that way you can market it for the highest selling price that yourself or your realtor can list for. So it is important. There are many options. We put together this rental footage, and this is specifically, again, for the rim joist footage. So it is dark in those rim joists, and it's a little difficult myself at times standing on a ladder just slightly above my employee on the shorter ladder. So we did the best to put this together for you. Always keep in mind, we're not professionals with the camcorders. We are professionals on the rentals. But I think through the footage, you'll get the idea. Most of it's common sense. Again, whether it's a seminar at a big box store or it's the endless information on the internet, you can do it yourself. Enjoy the footage, and don't forget, Bob's in studio live, second part of the program. Welcome to our job site. Today we're going to teach you how to insulate your rim joist cavity. Now, if you picture a home being built, there's excavation, you have a hole dug up. In this case, concrete foundation blocks are laid, all four sides, the perimeter, the basement. This is the foundation that holds the home up. Then there's a rim joist installed around the perimeter, and then the floor joists are attached to that, and then the framers gradually start building the first story of your home, and then onwards to the second story. Hot air rises. That's the key to remember in today's episode. Hot air will always rise. So the rim joist area is what you're looking at right now. Let me just zoom in for a moment. So we have the cavities, 16-inch on center, the framing. In between these cavities, the rim joist area is insulated. Now this is a really, really great area to lose heat. A lot of heat is lost through the rim joist. In this particular home, someone has already insulated the joist cavity, obviously, as you can see, using pink insulation. That stuff's junk. We're going to be pulling that out today, and we're going to be installing Roxol. Josh, want to pull the fiberglass bat out? Just so the viewers can get an understanding. Okay. Let me get in there also so they can see the rim joist. That's basically your rim joist. That travels around all sides of the home. Okay, Josh, that wasn't too difficult. Let's get you to pull it all out. And like Bob wants today, lightning speed on Monday morning. We're on the job here with Josh. Josh, you working hard?
Yes, sir. Hey, folks, how's it going?
Why do you got that mask on?
Because we're handling Roxol insulation.
Awesome. It's not COVID related. We're actually working with Roxol. Let me just get in here and show the viewers. These are Roxol fiberglass bats, actually wool bats. Very, very nice product. The finest you can get out of any type of bat for insulating. And today we're going to be working on the rim joist. Josh is going to show us how to operate the tools. Want to hold up the saw, Josh? Very nice. Looks like a extra large bread cutter. Okay, Josh, dive on in there and we'll watch you make your cut. Very easy to cut. It's actually a Roxol knife. All right, so that's cut one. We also have another cut for to determine the size of the joist cavity, right? Okay, follow us now. We're going to install this into the cavity. Okay, Josh, fit that in. When insulating, you want to make sure you're using the full depth of the insulation. You don't want to over squish it. It must be its original depth. R value stands for air resistance. The R is for resistance. Here's a couple other ones that we did earlier. So there's the joist cavity insulated. Here we left one out. That's the joist cavity without any insulation. So again, every perimeter of your home is going to have a rim joist. You want to make sure it's insulated. And of course, vapor barrier, which we'll be talking about shortly. All right, Josh, what's the next step on the project now?
We're installing the vapor barrier.
Okay, now I know this is a bit of a trade exam question, but let's see if you could answer this. For the viewers at home, what's the purpose of the vapor barrier?
Let's keep any cut. I have no idea.
Okay, no, that's all right. You're new with us. Purpose of the vapor barrier for those at home, and take notes as well, Josh. It's to prevent moisture migration through the wall. So essentially, let's pick a cold day for an example. 25, 30 below 0 Celsius outside. In the basement, obviously it's not that temperature. In the basement, you know, depending on the basement, maybe anywhere between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius. So the warmth in the basement will migrate to the insulation. Eventually, even with the best of insulation, the moisture with the water droplets in it will get through the insulation. Once it meets the cold temperature, you start to get condensation. So that can cause mold, that can cause rot. So the reason it's a vapor barrier is because it keeps the vapors on the warm side of the basement or the main floor or the second floor, anywhere in the home. You want a separation of the cold and the hot. A little bit of an exam question for you there when you do go write your exam at City Hall one day. Okay, Josh, I'll get in as tight as I can. Take your time there. Let's install it and show the viewers how we put it on. Almost like wrapping a Christmas present. Sorry for those of you at home, there's not exactly a lot of room to show you everything here. But Josh, now that you've lightly pressed it in, step back a bit. I want to just get in for a tight shot. There we go. Now that's not trimmed, that's not taped. Just for perspective, here's one that we already did during break. So we want all four sides taped. You can see we've pre-cut our tape in the pieces. We've hung it on the joists. All right, Josh, continue. The tape is important. You want an airtight seal, or more accurately, a vapor-tight seal. I see this done in a lot of basements and they miss the taping or they skip it completely. It's not exactly a neat, thorough way to do the job. Now you can see the tape we're using, it's red. You know, ask for it by brand name, it's called tuck tape. I don't recommend masking tape, I don't recommend clear tape or packaging tape or even Gorilla Tape. There's a reason for this tape. It's approved for use with vapor barrier. Again, number one source of heat loss in a home is the rim joist. This rim joist follows the foundation around all four sides. Doesn't matter how old or how new, every home has a rim joist. part of your foundation or most of your foundation is buried under the blocks. So there's earth against it. The earth adds an insulating value. However, once you get to the last course of block or second last course, and then especially the rim joist, heat rises. Easiest place for the heat to escape. Okay, we're gonna let Josh keep taping here, and then we'll give you a nice perspective of it once it's finished. We'll give you a tour around all the sides. Keep up the good work, Josh. Thanks. In some cases, you're gonna have too small an area, and I don't recommend using Roxol or fiberglass bats. So just to give you a perspective here, we've sealed between and around the pipe terminations through the foundation. Sealed the cavities all the way throughout. Now back to the spray foam. You see between the two floor joists, there's only about a 2-inch space. That's best filled with spray foam. That's the right way to do it. Let's walk around the basement now and just show you our finished work. Every single cavity finished, including the one Josh is just wrapping up. This will keep your home safe and warm. Welcome to another Triple R job site, and with another Triple R employee. Frank, how you feeling today?
Very good, Bobby.
Excellent, excellent. Now for the viewers at home, we brought you to another job site because we're going to show you a different method of insulating the rim joist. We're going to do something a little bit different here with Frank today. So Frank, why does Bob hate pink? Why do I hate this stuff?
So pink insulation, great in some places, but for the same cavity depth, why not go with Rockwool, right? It's way better. It's fireproof. It's not as itchy as pink. Sometimes you might get a little bit itchy. Way less itchy. And it also provides a lot higher of a R value than pink. So for really all around, it's a better product.
Yeah, see, for the homeowners, I mean, this is a DIY show. We're trying to explain to people, for a job like this, honestly, invest yourself in your home. Cut the crooked overcharging contract out of the equation. You're going to spend more money on the Roxol versus the pink, but you're going to have a much, much higher R value, better resale value. The warmth will stay in your home. So you end up with a savings from your utility bills. All right, Frank, pull out that pink. I want to show the viewers what the cavity looks like. Obviously, we're working in a much newer home here. The floors are OSB. The cavity looks like, what's that rim joist, Frank? 2x10 maybe?
I think so, about 2x10.
Okay. Actually, this is interesting. I'm going to try to zoom in here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. Pull that vapor barrier down a bit.
Yep.
That's a nut up there, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so that nut is holding down the base plate.
I'm going to pull this plastic down. Just
There we
a
go.
little bit better.
So for those of you at home to understand, the bottom plate is the plate of wood fastened to your foundation all the way around the perimeter of the home, and it's bolted down with that nut and bolt. So you can see the rim joist. They've cut a triangle shape out of it there in order to be able to get a tool, a wrench in to screw that nut down tight, and then there's your rim joist. So why does the rim joist lose the most heat? For the simple reason that heat rises. Okay, Frank, now we're going to be installing styrofoam. Styrofoam will create a thermal break. That's important. Unlike any type of bat insulation, what we're using here is 1-inch thick styrofoam, and the styrofoam gives you an R value of R5. So if you really, really want to boost your energy efficiency, you put in styrofoam, you spray foam around the perimeter, then you're going to put in the Roxol. So Frank's going to cut this to size now.
I like to measure this the same way tile setters measure theirs. You set it up, make your little mark, go around, set it up, make your little mark. Connect the two lines. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Now Frank's correct, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be using spray foam to seal it. Now Frank, that's important. Let's slow down a moment. So Frank just scored it with the knife. Next step is he's going to snap it.
So if you score it on this side, you want to snap it this way. So, and go little by little all the way down. A little difficult up here on the ladder. If it doesn't snap nicely, run the line again.
You might have to score it twice.
Go a little bit deeper, it's easier to snap.
There you go, that was easy. So for those of you at home, score it at least twice. So you're testing it now for fit?
Yep. And then you also, again, you need depth. Nice little cut here. Connect the two lines. Nice deep cut.
Two scores and one snap. Good job, Frank.
You're gonna see my line's not the straightest, but that'll be okay for now. You'll see. Watch, if it's a little bit too tight, you might break the whole board. So it's better if you just take a little bit extra off. There we go. Good fit up there. Nice.
Now for the viewers at home, again, this is 1-inch styrofoam. Styrofoam generally has an R value of R5 per inch. You could also use 2-inch. The only thing limiting you is your budget. And then obviously finish it off with Roxol. The styrofoam, again, it's continuous. It's a complete thermal break. Very, very good product to use.
The importance of the spray foam is to fill any voids and gaps that you have from cutting, or even as you saw in the last clip, we had a notch out in the back on the wood here. When you put your spray foam in, you want to make sure that you fill all of that cavity, because you don't want that air sitting there, because that's just wasted space, wasted R value that you could fill and it'd be useful.
So with R value, every inch counts, every gap counts.
100%.
Because for those of you at home, this is dollars and cents. This is your heating cost. This is your heating bill throughout the cold season of the year. Okay, I'll get in as close as I can.
Make sure you always give these cans a good shake. And you don't want to let these cans sit for too long. You want to make sure you're continuously spraying. See it filling that entire cavity and starting to come out. And remember, spray foam expands, so if you spray it any more, it's going to go everywhere. It's going to be way more after it hardens. I think that sealed us up.
Excellent. Very nice job. Make sure all your rim joists are insulated as best as you can. We've given you many options on this show. Either straight Roxol or a combination of Roxol and Styrofoam. And remember, as far as the thickness, R5 per inch. So just keep filling in the voids and the gaps. Welcome to our job site. Number 3 for this episode. Quick shout out. We could not have brought you all this work without our 2 finest men, Josh Coles, Triple R Apprentice, and Frank Lorcella. Big shout out to both of them, especially Josh, who's behind the camcorder at this very moment. Bob's got the torch ready. I want to show you the difference between combustibility between the pink insulation and, of course, the Roxol. Here we have the pink. This is not what I would recommend in anybody's homes. Unfortunately, 90% of homes in Ontario are full of this crap. Be patient. We're going to penetrate. This is going to penetrate right through. Not only does the fire burn a hole through it, can you imagine the smoke in your home? Low R value, little resistance to fire, itchy as hell. I do not recommend this in your home. Look at that, she's right through. Now the Roxol. It'll char, it'll scorch itself, but it won't ignite, it won't burn through. Highest possible R value. R stands for resistance to heat loss. You cannot spend your money on anything with a higher R value as far as a bat product. It won't go through. Which one you want in your home? Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. I hope you enjoyed the program and I hope you learned from it. Now don't forget how to contact us on the show. Send us your emails, askbob@cable14.com, Twitter @JustAskBob, or pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232, and that call is all it takes to enter our contest. We're running a contest based on telephone calls. Win a $50 Home Depot gift card. Call in and you could win. Full contest details at cable14.com/Bob Contest. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi folks. My name is Amy Sloan, and I'm going to be the host of a new show called Friends on 14. It's a show for our seniors. It's got music, trivia, it's got exercise, and all kinds of fun stuff for seniors. Join me on Monday nights after bingo at 8 p.m. on Cable 14.
COVID-19 continues to impact almost every aspect of our lives right here in Hamilton. And on our next town hall, I'll be joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger. Paul Johnson and Dr. Elizabeth Richardson as we answer your questions about COVID-19 in the city of Hamilton. So please join me for our next live COVID-19 Town Hall on Thursday, October the 29th, beginning at 7 p.m. right here on Cable 14.
What is that? It's a rape whistle.
The Canadian Women's Foundation, moving women and girls out of abuse and poverty and into confidence.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. On today's episode, we have a real great treat here. We have my good friend Frank Lorcella joining us on the show to give Bob a helping hand with these emails and phone calls. How are you, Frank?
Good, Bobby. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for helping today. Let's see what's up on the screen as far as an email. Hey, Bob, I have two questions, if I may. I've attached a picture of the room. There are two things you might notice. One, the white and black staining on the walls. I assume this should be cleaned off and may be the source of some of the musty smell. Okay. Most definitely, that should be a source of the smell. Doesn't look too bad, but again, it depends. Number two, the ceiling of the room is framed. As you can see, the wood is nailed right to the concrete. Doesn't seem good. As you can also see, on the top side of the framing, the ceiling is covered with particle board. If I look up in the cracks between the wood, I believe I can see metal running across the width of the room. But is it hard to tell how far it reaches? I read online that this was framing placed as a support only when the front porch was being poured and can now be removed. Does this seem right to you? The end cross joist near the door, not shown, takes away a lot of headroom at the entrance. It would be great if all this could be removed. What do you think? Many thanks, Ross from Hamilton. Thank you very much, Ross. I appreciate it. And I love the photos. I mean, the photos really help. If I can start off first with some caution. I mean, let's pretend now I'm at your home and I've met you and it's just a regular estimate. I let people know that there's limitations with the general contractor. I am not a mold specialist and most are not. So right off the bat, I would recommend to a homeowner, and it's up to them, it's their home. If you're really concerned, especially if you have maybe health issues or somebody in your family does, I would definitely bring in or recommend strongly you bring in a company that specializes in mold. Now, they can do air testing. Air testing can be done. That'll determine if in fact it's mold, you know, what species, what type of spores, maybe how to deal with it. And then it's not that you have to pay them to remediate it. They may then give you some information, maybe even some products guides or guide or literature, or depending how bad it is, you may pay them to perform the remediation. So that's very important. Once I notify a homeowner of that and they even initial off that they've been told, then as far as general contractors, we can apply certain solutions. We can try to clean it off. We can deal with most times on the exterior, what's causing it. Because it doesn't matter, Ross, how much cleaning or what you throw at it and do to it. If you've got, for example, your grate on the outside of the home sloping in towards the home, you've got an issue out there. If your eaves troughs and gutters are overflowing, you've got again another issue. So the issue begins on the outside, it emanates into the inside of the basement. So with that being said, you've got some options there. Now, as far as removing potential structure or lumber, I'm pretty sure to concur with you that the board underneath would be there for the forming work for the concrete porch. But again, just through an email or some photos, I can't really tell you what to pull out because some of it might be structural. You might end up with some danger. So again, you should have a contractor in there to have a look at it. Let's bring Frank into this for some opinions as well. Frank, what's your perspective? Should we just tell him to pull all the wood out?
No, absolutely not. You need to have somebody come in and see it in person, because from some angles it might seem like you can pull things out and take things apart, but you really need a knowledgeable person to come in and check it out.
What I worry about, Frank, is towards the end, Frank, remember when the email, he talked about there's a joist or a beam running that creates low headroom. It's causing low headroom, and he said it's not in the picture, but he wants to remove it. What if this thing's a load support? What if it's a beam? What if it's a header? Because the doorway might be there. So if we go tell him to pull that out, he could have a collapse.
Absolutely. It's not smart to be pulling beams out. They are there for a reason most times. So
what do you think,
yes.
though, of the particle board? That I think more than likely was the formwork to hold up the pour for the concrete porch top.
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely. But again, sir, I hope you're watching something like that. I would have to be there in person, or any reputable licensed contractor. They'll either, they'll guide you from there. But as far as the mold, look at the big box stores. There is some products you can pick up. You can also use a solution of bleach and water. Definitely try to clear it up yourself. But my concern is, I don't think it's first and foremost just how you clean it off. Because if you don't correct the issue on the outside, right, Frank? Imagine if the earth's leaning in towards the home, gutters overflowing, bushes all grown right up tight against the foundation. You got to treat it, you got to fix it from the outside, and then it won't happen again once you've cleaned it on the inside.
You might get rid of the mold now, but if you don't take care of it, it'll just keep coming back.
Yeah, it comes back and it comes back. Thank you, Ross, and feel free after the show. You can easily follow up with me directly. All right, next one's for you, Frank.
Hello, Bob. Could I spray foam the entire rim joist? Andrew from Hamilton.
Take it away, Frank.
Absolutely. You could spray foam the entire rim joist. It creates its own vapor barrier, and depending on the type of spray foam, if it's open or closed cell, you actually get a better R value. So in my opinion, I always recommend spray foaming. It is the best option, but it is a lot of more money when you look at it when you're looking from bats to spray foam.
Great answer, Frank. I mean, I completely agree. It's my top pick. It's always a Bob's top pick. But again, it's the money. So, I mean, different ways to look at it. If you're going to call in a contractor to do it, you're really spending the money. If you're going to cut them out of the equation, that's why I always try to tell homeowners. Big motivating factor to get up, get off the couch is think about it. Look at all the money you're going to save. That money you save, I would think, reinvest it into the product, exactly as Frank said. Spray foam, you do it yourself, you're proud of your work. Always makes sense. Okay, I'll take the next one here. Bob, on last week's episode, you helped the viewer with their roofing issue, and I learned a lot from listening to you. Thank you, Bob, for helping homeowners. I have a quick question. How do metal roofs compare to shingles? This is Anna from Ancaster. Anna, thank you very much. First, let me disclose, I don't really have experience at all in installing metal roofs. I'm an asphalt shingle installer by trade, and we do that on our jobs. However, I have a lot of research in my mind. So, with that being said, number one also is it's a green renewable resource to a degree. I mean, it's much more green and renewable than with asphalt. And that stuff only ends up in the landfills. So you are being green in that sense. Also, another reason for being green is a high quality metal roof. They call it a lifetime roof, but typically 50, 60 years. So close enough to a lifetime, to some perspective. The asphalt shingle roofs, 15 to 20, maybe less. So you're going to be doing a lot more of that more often, and it ends up in the landfill. So the metal roof, I believe, hands down, is the better product. Couple of issues, though. Number one is the price. It's going to break the bank. So please research it, get some good quotes, but it will definitely break the bank. It's very, very expensive. Some estimates call for it to be, you could end up doing 4, 5, or 6 asphalt roof shingle jobs with what it would cost you to do the metal roof just once. Now, second problem, because of the nature of it, at least I found that a lot of these companies, they don't seem to last. So you hire them today, they give you a 50-year warranty, you have an issue in 5, 6 years, the company's not around. Now, how does Bob know this? Because I get the calls. People will call me and they're asking me if I can come out and repair the metal roof or if I can give them some tips and advice. Now, not only I can't really come out and repair it, it's not my roof, but many other roofers will not come out and repair it because it's just simply not that widely available, not that widely used. That's why the information and the amount of contractors to do the installations or do the roofs are not as widely available. And also possibly one contractor that does metal roofs, he doesn't want to go repair and piddle around with somebody else's work. So there's no clear answer. You have to investigate it a lot. Frank, help me out here. Shed some light on this. Don't tell me you're drawing a blank.
Honestly, Bobby, you know how I work. I like the ground, and if you really can't get me up on a roof.
Oh, believe me, I know that. I've had trouble getting you up on a roof or even a tall ladder. No, but honestly,
I'm a little shaky on the ladders.
Oh, no, honestly, I mean, okay, fine. Not with you going up, you doing it. I mean, but just from talking to other tradespeople, from your own research, what would you think? I mean, let's say money was no object. And this is Frank's build. This is Frank's custom home one day, maybe in the near future, not too far distant future. Money's not an object because you worked hard, you saved your money. What would you throw on your own family's roof to protect your loved ones? A metal roof or an asphalt shingle roof?
If you're looking for a high quality roof that you shouldn't worry about too much, I would say, and you have the money, metal roof, absolutely. But get it done by a good, reputable company that has been around for years and has a lot of references. Make sure that you have that. If you go to kind of any Joe Blow that is around, you might save the penny right now, but later on, as you said, the company might go under, they might disappear, because a lot of the roofing companies that you see sometimes just disappear.
I'm very glad you added the price factor to that, because not only do I keep saying it's so much more expensive, if you get somebody that's giving you a bargain basement deal of a metal roof, forget it, because then you really might have trouble. So again, to the viewers at home, do your own due diligence. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Join us every day at 5 p.m. for your connection to the people, stories, and experiences on the Hamilton Network. Look to us as your source for the information shaping our community. Tune into Cable 14 and online at cable14.com and follow us on Twitter at THN on C14, keeping you connected to the Hamilton Network.
Online shopping. Soon it will be the way many of us shop for just about everything. And that's where we come in. Canada Post delivers more parcels to Canadians than anyone else. Canada Post, delivering the online world.
Come watch Hammer D20, the show that focuses on the nerdy side of Hamilton. From video games to comic books to board game cafes to Magic the Gathering to Warhammer to cosplay to whatever else there is. I try to look at all the magical things Hamilton has to offer.
Mom and Dad used to argue about everything, especially about Dad's drinking. My family went from totally crazy to quiet, calm, and even peaceful when Mom started going to Al-Anon family groups. I wanted a better relationship with Dad, so I asked Mom if she would take me to her Al-Anon meetings or to Alateen. I'm sure glad I did. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon or Alateen family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We continue with another email here. Bob, my contractor took a $5,000 deposit from me and has now disappeared. I called the city, and they have no record of him ever having been licensed. He told me he was licensed. Bob, please help. Kim from Hamilton. Well, Kim, like I always say, you know, we used to live in a day and age when we didn't need double deadbolts on the door. You could take someone for their word. People were more honest. Do not, I tell you, do not believe anybody nowadays, especially contractors. I can't say this often enough on air. When I started my business almost 20 years ago, I took my city trade exam license because I was proud of it. Punched a hole through it, put a string through it, wore around my neck when I go into people's homes, and I would show that as an ID card. And I've been doing that now for almost 20 years, and it doesn't change because I engage with the homeowners. And then most of them tell me they've never even heard of the license, let alone seen it. So I really, really wish in your case that you would have called the city, not after you got taken, but prior, and you save yourself on having the, you know, meet with all these different contractors and so-and-so's not licensed, this one is, that one isn't. It's so, so very important because, again, like I've always said, the contractor is not an end-all and be-all. It's not a full-out guarantee, but it's a fantastic starting point to make sure that these things don't happen, that they don't run away with your money. I mean, I feel terrible. I feel terrible for what you're going through. Frank, any thoughts?
You know what? I hear this story from absolutely everybody I talk to. I get more phone calls than I'd like to admit, from people calling going, I had a contractor come in, took my money, left, or did half the job and disappeared. You really have to do your due diligence to check in on the contractors that you hire. It's very difficult to find somebody that's very honest these days.
See, the city of Hamilton, my municipality, again, I can't stress this enough. There's fellas that do rentals. Maybe they're handymen. Maybe they go out on the weekends and do it. Weekend warriors. Maybe they do it every so often when their plant shuts down and gives them extra holidays. There's all kinds of reasons why these tradespeople will come to your home and take your money. What about the fellow who actually does it for a living? What about the contractor that puts food on the table and that's his only means of doing it, raises his family, puts his kid through school? In other words, the businessman and the tradesman who has an infrastructure built with possibly a nice website, membership in the Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau acknowledgement, involvement in the community. That type of individual rarely, if never, is going to take a $5,000 deposit and run. Rarely, if ever, they're going to violate the law with regards to pulling a permit for the job, if the job needs a permit. So we're talking about a legitimate business, not some handyman slash crook who's running around stealing people's deposits. Now, as far as to give you some answers on how you can help yourself, I mean, if you can't track them down, you can't track them down. If you have to go through the courts, go through the courts. Obviously involve the city, complain to the building department, see if they can give you any help. But the number one thing I have to stress is, please only hire licensed contractors and do not take their word for it. Ask to see the license card. If they don't show it to you or you have any kind of suspicion, because with technology today, to be honest with you, they can print a fake license card. So how about you just verify it each and every time? 905-546-2424. And this is twofold now. Number one, ask for licensing department. Run the name of this contractor by them. Then you'll know if they're licensed. Number two, ask for building department. For example, tell them, I'm thinking of remodeling my basement. I'm going to hire a contractor. Does this job require a permit? They're going to tell you yes. And then when you have a couple of contractors coming over, and some of them will tell you, oh, no, you don't need a permit to remodel a basement because your home came with a basement. They will tell you all types of stupid things in order to con you, to avoid the permit, because if they're unlicensed, it's unlikely they're going to get a permit, and unlikely they're going to be there to face the inspector's wrath to get inspections. So that's why it's important. Call the city. Find out if what you're planning needs a permit. Find out if the contractor's licensed, and then you compare that information to the contractors that are coming to bid for your respect, to bid for your money. The moment you find out they've lied to you, be done with them. I don't think you want to hire somebody that lied to you during the estimating or getting to know you process. That's why, again, it's not any old contractor. It's the right contractor for you and your home. Frank, want to throw anything over that?
I think you've covered the ground very well, Bob.
Oh, no, come on, throw something in.
You definitely need to check all the contractors that come through your home. Even if you're not going to take their estimate or their quote, you know what? Maybe check it, because you might save somebody else later on down the road, right? When they go to call for that contractor and he's known that he's been doing this illegally, it's not good, right? He might scam somebody down the road.
And what about animal instincts, Frank? Because there are many of times when I've sent you to go out and drop off an estimate or meet with my clients. Anybody's dogs ever bit you?
No, I don't think so.
That's
not
because
yet.
they got good instincts. If your dog trusts them, that's a good sign. Always important how the animal feels about the fellow too. All right, we're going to take another one here. Frank, you can take this one.
Perfect. Bob, my eaves troughs is leaking at the corners, and I remember how you always say it's too late to successfully seal them this time of year. However, I don't want them dripping all year and creating an ice patch near my front step. What can I do? Vince from Hamilton.
Now, Frank, by all year, I think they mean all winter.
I think so.
Yeah.
Once it gets a little too cold, it's very difficult to caulk them properly. And also, especially if it's wet, you're not going to get a good seal. Those eaves troughs need to be dry. The eaves troughs need to be dry so that when you apply the caulking, it sticks and it creates a good water barrier.
Good answer, Frank. Good answer. Generally speaking, as the viewer was aware, I don't believe in sealing them this time of year. However, though, the homeowner can try. See, Frank, the way I look at it is it becomes a liability. So if I go out through my company and I try to seal them because I want the money, you know, we need money, right? I want to get paid. I don't want to turn down jobs. I go up there and it's this time of year where, you know, in the morning your vehicle's all covered in dew. It's moisture overnight or it's rain 6 days out of 7. So if I take the customer's money and I seal it and it doesn't take, or let's say it takes close enough and then you get a first snowfall and then it leaks. What if, again, it happens to be that eaves trough that leaks that is right near a set of steps or somewhere where they're going to be walking across a path? If somebody falls on that or gets hurt on that, I can get sued. So there's a liability issue for the contractor. Now, for the homeowner, nothing's stopping you. Try to clean it, try to dry it, buy the best product you can afford, seal it, and if it takes, it takes. If it doesn't take, there's getting no liability. So that's why many of contractors won't take it on this time of year, but for a homeowner to take it on, no problem at all. Frank, your thoughts?
If you do seal it around this time, maybe put something to divert the water just for the time being until it starts to warm up and dry, so that when the season does come back and it's warm, you can apply it properly and get the job done the first time.
Excellent, Frank, excellent. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
COVID-19 continues to impact almost every aspect of our lives right here in Hamilton. And on our next town hall, I'll be joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger, Paul Johnson, and Dr. Elizabeth Richardson as we answer your questions about COVID-19 in the city of Hamilton. So please join me for our next live COVID-19 town hall on Thursday, October the 29th, beginning at 7 p.m. right here on Cable 14.
It's about sharing and caring. It's about doing and belonging. It's about living life to its fullest. And it's about laughing out loud. We are L'Arche Canada, and we're about witnessing and sharing the gifts of all people. Learn more about us today.
Come watch Hammer D20, the show that focuses on the nerdy side of Hamilton. From video games to comic books to board game cafes to Magic the Gathering to Warhammer to cosplay to whatever else there is. I try to look at all the magical things Hamilton has to offer.
What is that? It's a rape whistle.
The Canadian Women's Foundation, moving women and girls out of abuse and poverty and into confidence.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. Don't forget, all week long, you can send us an email, askbob@cable14.com, or you can tweet your questions at Just Ask Bob. Frank, enjoy this rental footage here now. We've got a preview of next Tuesday's episode. We're talking about this earlier.
Beautiful.
Beautiful on the outside, moldy on the inside. We have quite the infestation here. For those of you at home, I hope you can see this. Quite a problem with mold. Right now, what you're seeing is the inside basement cold room underneath the front porch. Nasty stuff here. Very, very nasty. Bob's first suspicion is lack of air movement with those bushes. However, this mold seems to be continuing here onto the baseboards. You don't want that in your basement. Next Tuesday, we tackle that. Frank, what'd you think?
That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of mold.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Frank, on behalf of myself, my producers, the staff here, you're awesome. Thank you so much for coming in today. For the viewers at home, Frank's going to be back, that's for sure. Thank you again, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Don't forget, contact the show during the week. And if you want to watch past episodes of Just Ask Bob or get in touch with me, www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com. Thank you.